Homosexuals, we are back. Oh, we are so back. I know I say this a lot, but yeah, I'm going to confidently sit here and tell you we are so back because I'm excited. I'm making progress. I'm feeling my body out in a better way that suits the training that I'm trying to stick to right now. And so sure, I may be a bit of a beating an old horse kind of situation where I go down and then I go up and then I go down and then I go up, and every other week you're hearing me say I messed up and then you're hearing me say I got back. But that's the whole point of the sport. That's the whole point of doing anything you have passion for. You have to fail and bounce back from that in a positive, efficient, productive way in order to make growth for not only the weights and the hobby itself, but just for you, you know? Something that gives you more purpose, something that keeps you going. Life's hard. You want to have something that makes you super happy and excited to get into every day, you know? I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I didn't get to go super in depth about what I wanted the training to kind of feel like. So something that I used to do, if you've been here for a while, is I used to, do these heavy days like today where I work up to a heavy squat or a heavy bench or whatever. And every other lift that's meant to be worked at a lighter rate, or just at least, percentage-wise, just not as heavy, I would try to keep as close to maximum effort when it comparing to my absolute 100% RPE type of set. But it's not efficient anymore. I used to do 3 working sets and then a top single set whenever I do a lightweight and then a heavyweight kind of session like today. But I want to try to grow from that. I want to do something different that I know I can be confident in, even if it feels dumb or it feels inefficient right now because it seems too light. But that's exactly what it's supposed to be. The first time you try something new, it's supposed to be too light. It's not supposed to be something that overwhelms you immediately and then makes you rethink the program that you've just started. And I'm very happy with the progress today. It's and so I don't want to keep my set volume high anymore, at least not for right now, because with these 12-hour night shifts and college and gym and everything else on top of whatever I'm doing in my daily life, there's too much energy being put into everything I do to merit me going for a ton of sets and doing crazy conditioning with volume, because I'm already fatigued every day just based off the work I do. If I didn't have to go on and work a job like the 12-hour night shifts or any sort of job, even if I worked less hours, I would be able to do whatever I want because that's how I used to train. But that's just not realistic anymore. I have to put that effort in a different way that hits the same and makes me grow the same, but it's just not as taxing every single time. I want to get into the mindset where, of course, I'm trying to put in 100% of my passion every day. But I've kind of given myself the misconception that if I'm not hitting 100% intensity when it comes to whipping the weight as hard as I can, screaming my heart out on that last rep, it felt like I wasn't doing enough. And I need to recognize that recovery is so much more important than that last giving it my all, screaming my heart out kind of rep, I got to learn to relax a little bit while putting in 100% in a different way. It's putting the purpose behind the lift through something else other than just to strengthen the numbers. Because when it comes to lifting in general and the longevity of it, yeah, the lifting and the big number is always going to be an accessory to the passion I have for the sport. But I have to go a level deeper than that. I have to think beyond that top level of prioritization and think about the rest of the things I prioritize while I lift. And it can't just be 100% intensity as hard as I can every single day, heavy lifting, and just going a little bit lighter if I feel like it. There has to be a reason behind that, There's got to be an actual desire and a purpose and a need for everything I do. So for example, today, if it were old me, today would have been like a complex on clean and jerks or power clean and jerk or something different, just something to give myself an excuse to go heavier because the lift was harder, But realistically, if you're trying to get stronger in a lift, all you really need to do, if the technique and the form and the conditioning is there, you just got to keep doing the same lift over and over. And, it's not like me doing the complexes was a bad thing or the different types of training styles that I did was bad for me. It's something that needed to happen so that I could spark that passion back up and allow myself to come back, You got to have that bit of variety and that bit of fun sometimes when you're feeling like a little stick in the mud with your training. You know, you're going to hit a plateau at some point. It's inevitable. Even if that doesn't mean it's strength-wise, you can hit a plateau when it comes to the passion or the enjoyment you have behind the lifts themselves. That's why people kind of, if people like doing powerlifting, for example, a lot of powerlifters will bounce back and forth between bodybuilding sometimes and then powerlifting sometimes, so they can have new things to motivate them when they get burnt out. And so that's kind of like what the new training styles are for me. It's always the same movements and the same ideas, but they're all still different lifts, a part of the same sport. And so I want to really hone in on the ones that I care about. And right now, regardless of the passion, when it comes to just the gym, my highest priority is getting stronger on those few lifts I go heavy on every week. So the snatch day, the clean and jerk day, and then the 2 separate days where I alternate between either doing a heavy back squat or a heavy bench press, depending on the part of the week. And those are what I want to be strongest. Those are what I want to see the actual growth through. So I have to force myself to be limited in the way of strength some days so that I can reprioritize and reevaluate my form and technique. Like today, for example, my clean and jerks honestly weren't even great. I'm very proud of the last set. The last set was definitely my best, which is always a really great thing. You want to make sure that last one is at least something that gives you that good mind-muscle connection so that you can come back and work off of that last feeling you had. But I tell you guys all the time, I never want to pause in the bottom of a clean. And when I hit 255, my first one I paused on the bottom because my core was about to break. And I was like, I'm not locked in whatsoever. And that just went to show me even more that even though this was weight that I chose that felt dumb because it was light, I was still humbled by it because it's something that I don't give enough attention to or time to because I just assume that it's going to be too easy. And that's not a bad thing all the time. You have to have those easier days to not only spark the passion and motivation to get back to the heavy stuff, but to humble yourself and be like, okay, well, that obviously was way too much on said certain day. Maybe this lighter day will make it a lot easier to tackle a weight that I know I might not be ready for, Because that's the difference between intensities. When I say full intensity, I'm saying that last one I'm actually scared of, or I'm nervously excited because I know I don't exactly know what that last rep's going to feel like yet. I know for today on squat, sets of 4, I know I had the 3rd rep, but it's that 4th one that really drives me into the floor, and I'm like, I really got to pull everything out of my ass for this one, And today, the purpose was to go heavy on squat. That's what the program is written for today, with that purpose and that plan. So next week, when I hit squats, I got to go lighter. And so if it were original me on the old type of program where I just went heavy and max intensity every single day, I would have gone to 295 for a double on clean and jerk because that's what I tripled last week. But just because it's stuff that I know I can do more than a double on doesn't mean I still need to do it every single time I have some sort of lighter day. I gotta genuinely take it lighter, like light enough to make me question how light it is, because then it allows me to focus on the core and the technique and the drive that I have on that kind of lift. And that's why I'm so glad I did that today with clean and jerks, because it definitely felt heavy from the fatigue from last week, but also my form actually wasn't that good compared to what I was able to do on my heavy clean and jerk day as well. And that's something I want to make sure is consistent every single day. So that was great. The 275 for the double, that felt really, really consistent. And it'll give me a lot more room to grow for my next week when I go heavy again. Back squat was nuts, man. Because again, I didn't feel fully confident from the fatigue I've built up, but I could tell I'm slowly getting back to that peaked feeling because the training's working the way I have that purpose for, It's always, you're not going to be able to tell right away or all the time whether or not your training's going to make it to where you can actually grow through it. That's the whole point of trial and error. But doing it and trying your best and then succeeding feels so much different, so much better. Because I definitely did not feel that kind of confidence I want out of a day like today, but I knew I had the energy to try. And that's the difference when it comes to learning what priorities you want to actually jump after, is knowing that you have the attempt in you. And it's just whether or not you actually want to turn on the mindset for it. Whether you want to actually lock in that intensity that you planned to do in the first place. I say this all the time. When you want to do a weight and something that you want to really work toward, it can't be a question of failing it. You cannot have that as even an idea in your head before you at least attempt it once, Because if you fail after, who gives a shit, Do better next time, work on it, and take the effort that you put and grow from it, you know, make that experience golden. But for me, it's not just I don't go, you know, it's not like I put the weight on and I'm scared and then I walk up to it and then I lock in. It's not even a question that I'm hitting that weight in my mind before I even go to the gym that day. When I get in my car and I start amping up and getting ready, it's even before that. It's the moment I write that shit down on my phone and I'm like, this is what we have planned today. I have to hit it, because that necessity for success is what gets you to that next level, that new level of intensity that you need to do that new kind of weight, to bring it back and make it so you can have the best possible growth and potential in the future. Oh, and I am very happy for the effort I put in. I'll tell you what, 425 was moving today. And the weights honestly didn't even feel very cohesive. 3 plates felt pretty heavy. 365 felt real heavy. But it's you got to take a second to step back. If you're starting to doubt yourself, step back. I'm telling you. Go talk to a homie or somebody about what is making you feel, but get that positive, productive afterthought on top of it, you know? Talked to a guy today after I hit 4 plates. He was like, damn, dude, 4 plates is impressive. That's crazy. Good for you. And I was like, shit, that's the kind of, that bit of, that small, simple, and seemingly insignificant bit of perspective is what I really needed. You know, because it seems so obvious and it seems so small and like anybody could say it. But in that moment where I'm doubting myself and then someone brings me back to reality and reminds me of how strong and how heavy the weight actually is according to what I'm trying to do, even if it's not, you know, as heavy as my typical standard would be for whatever I'm trying to do at my absolute peak, does not mean it's any less credible, you know? And he was telling me about his lifting a little bit, and I was motivating him, and I was like, shit, this is what I need, man. We motivate each other, not only just to motivate the other person, but also remind yourself of why you're motivated. All the uplifting shit that I tell people and that I put in these positive self-talk videos isn't just to make people feel better and, you know, give somebody just a spiel of positivity. It's really what I need to hear in order to come back and do better next time or in that moment on that next set. And oh, buddy, we locked it in. I'll tell you what. 425 moved pretty phenomenally. My core didn't even really burn much. That really went to show as well that, like, if my core wasn't even really burning that bad compared to how I normally do when I push it to an absolute 100% intensity, that just goes to show it was so much more mental than I realized. I just had to lock in every part of my body and have faith in the progress and the form that I've built up upon itself, you know? And on that third rep, I'm not going to lie, my back started trying to roll a little bit, tried to bend forward, and I was like, no. Took that extra second, got a real deep breath on that last one, yelled my guts out, and oh boy, very happy with the results. And again, it might not work the same way that I want to next week as compared to what I'm doing right now, but the reason why I'm so happy for this training right now, even if it feels dumb, and even if it's going to be easier and a lot easier than I plan on for some days, tomorrow, for example, I'm going in to do light snatches and light bench press for the volume that I'm trying. So I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be something like a 215 double on snatch, and then I don't think it's 225. I think it's 215 double on snatch, and then it might be 285. It's either 285 or 305 for a set of 4. No, it's 285 for a set of 4 on bench. And that's easy. I know that's easy. I know that's simple. But I have to think about the progress I've been showing and the fatigue that I've been experiencing. And even though I know I can crack out sets of 315 at 4 for sets of 4, does not mean I'm prepped for it. Shit, look at the progress I put in last week. I wasn't able to do 315 for more than 4 without having to put it up. And that's not good for what I've been shown to be, for what my potential is shown, you know? I should have been crushing 315 for 6 this week. And that's my fault for the inefficiencies in my programming. So I'm going to do the 285, absolutely smash it, like destroy it with the most perfect, beautiful form you've ever seen, so that when I get to my heavy bench day this week, I'm fully recovered, I have that conditioning built up, and I'm going to go to 325 and destroy that for a set of 4. I promise you now. Because it seems stupid in the moment to do something that light and so simple compared to what you're normally used to training. But that little bit of that want to do more and that want to get back in for that new heavy day that's coming up. That desire, that fight that makes you want to come back is what makes you lift so much better on those heavy days. You really feel like you deserved it and earned it because you held yourself back when you needed to most. Because the days that you want to go the heaviest are typically the days that you got to make sure you keep your ego in check and keep it humble. Temper yourself. Of course, if you feel like you're peaked ready and you're planning for a peak that day, wonderful. Destroy it, go as heavy as you want. But if it's a light bench day tomorrow and I destroy 285 or whatever weight I'm doing, I'm not going to go up. I am not going to ruin my progress and the potential I'm building up for the sake of the longevity of the program, just for the sake of feeling better on one specific day. I want the day that I plan and I desire to be at my peak, be the actual peak, But anyway, physically, even though clean and jerks weren't perfect and squat didn't feel as cohesive as it could have been in my core, especially with my low back, I can give it a very, very solid 8.7. Yeah, it was a very decent day, absolutely. But I want to continue this training and this kind of build-up programming so that I can make these days consistent 9s and above. Because I used to be at that point, and I know I can. And it's something that I've always been, like, I used to go to the gym and tell people all the time, I never have a day where I feel sore or overworked or too shitty to lift something heavy. I used to have that kind of training, and it's not bad that I've been fucking around so much recently, but it's that experience to give myself an excuse to mess up that allows me to screw my head back on straight when I hit that wall and reprioritize and reevaluate everything that I've been working for and really getting back to those roots and doing what I know works for a fact. Anyway, mentally, solid 9.2. Solid 9.25. We'll give it the little push. It felt really good to have a schedule again, honestly. With the complexes and the random programming, it felt fun for the moment, but after I had done it for so many days in a row, the inconsistencies, the random weights, the random lifts, forcing myself to come up with different complexes that I didn't have a real reason behind. It was just something that I made so difficult that it wouldn't allow myself to go heavy but still required the same intensity as a PR. That really was dragging me down a bit when I was starting to hit that wall. So it's nice to have weights that I know exactly what I want to do before I get there. And it's not just something that I'm building up to and we'll see how I feel, because that's how you get injured. I want those weights to be planned, and I want them to feel confident. I want it to feel like it's free-flowing, even though I've already written it down beforehand. Because, again, I want to feel like I absolutely am going to crush it before I even leave the house. There is no option of failure. I have to do it no matter what, because that's what it means to be passionate and believe in yourself with this shit. But, yeah, especially with the squats, really happy. And the humbling with the clean and jerks felt really good, too, honestly. So with everything combined together, couldn't be happier with the efforts, So let me know how you guys have been doing. I appreciate y'all hanging out as always. Hear me up, do my thing. Let me know how your lives and lifts have been going. I love hearing about it, and I will be back tomorrow for light snatch and light bench, and we'll see how it feels and just have fun with it. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.